Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Peter Gauthier. I want to welcome everybody to the Flipping Homes coaching call tonight, and it's really fun for me to get started and to get to spend this kind of time with you guys one-on-one, and so that I can change your perspective and I can change how wholesaling is working for you. With me on the call tonight is my good friend Christopher Clark. Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm doing outstanding, Peter, and you?
I'm doing great. I can see Chris's image, and I'm thrilled to have him with us. And so for all of you on the call, let me talk and just tell you a little bit about me, and I want to tell you a little bit about Chris. My name is Peter Gauthier, and I am a wholesaler. I'm a rehabber. I'm one of the top wholesalers in the Washington, D.C. marketplace. And I'm the guy who's known to be the wholesaler on steroids. And, you know, when it comes to wholesaling is a technique that we use to create chunks of cash, and you're the middle guy, you're the middle ground, and what you do is you go out and you find quality deals, high quality deals, and then present them, sell them to your wholesale buyers, and essentially as a wholesaler we're the marketing department for our wholesale buyers, so it's a very exciting space to operate in. And I run bus tours for wholesaling, and I've had as many as 144 investors on 3 Trailways buses, and wholesaled as many as 8 wholesale deals in a single day, all through my bus tour activities. And so, folks, look, I own Flipping Homes, and Steve Cook, who is one of my mentors, created Flipping Homes. He started it, and then he entrusted me and handed over the Flipping Homes reins to me in order to provide you guys the information and the training that you need to get where you want to go and to build the life and the lifestyle of your dreams. And so that's my mission for being. That's why I'm here, and God willing, it's absolutely my mission. Christopher came into my life just a few short months ago, and Christopher, we're very, very fortunate. Christopher is a real estate investor. He loves the real estate investing space, but on top of that, Chris is he's really an organizer. And when I say that, I mean he really helps me in the back office. He helps me on the marketing. He helps me on the platforms that you guys get to take advantage of. So whether it's the website, whether it's the Flipping Home site, whether it's putting together training sessions just like this, Christopher is integral, and he's a great sounding board and just a great partner to have in this space. And we're very, very lucky to have you with us, Christopher, to share this message of abundance to everybody who's joining us on the call. And so welcome. Chris, take a moment and just say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Peter, thanks. That's definitely very humbling to hear that, and just want to say thanks. It's a blessing to be here. I'm super excited because I know that what you're teaching, what you're doing, what you're living, it's beginning to change my life, and I know that God's blessings, you know, are yes and amen.
Awesome. Well, anyway, so we're lucky to have Christopher, and what Christopher won't tell you, but I'm going to tell you, it's because I'm just so proud of him. He looks like a little puppy. But I got to tell you, Christopher is an achiever. And Christopher is an expert when it comes to mindset, and that's why I embrace him. That's why I appreciate him so much. You know, Christopher is a former Marine. Not only is he a Marine, but he's a very special cadre of Marine called a Marine Drill Instructor. And Christopher had the privilege and the honor to be recognized by his peers and by his leadership and to be designated as the Marine DI of the Year. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't know anything about the military or the Marine Corps, to receive that recognition is really saying something. And so it just gives us insight into Christopher's heart. And again, I'm just thrilled to have him with us here in the Flipping Homes family. And so sorry to call you out on that, Christopher, because Christopher's very humble. But you know what? I want everybody to know the talent and the quality of folks that are here with them today on their behalf. And so look, I want to talk to you a little bit about the format on our call tonight, and it's twofold. Our format is I want to provide instruction to you, and it's going to be instruction that's going to be a bit of a mind twist. And in tonight's instruction, I want to start with the very basics at the very beginning, and I want to talk to you about building your cash buyers list. And I want to talk to you about why to build a list, why it's important, and I want to talk to you about how to cultivate a very, very powerful buyers list. So now look, I know a lot of you are taking notes. What I want you to do is pull out your pad right now, pull out your paper and your pen, and I want you to write this down. The cash buyers list is the engine that drives your cash machine. Okay, write that down. The cash buyers list is the engine that drives your real estate wholesaling machine. And the reason for it is this, is that as wholesalers, look, there are many pieces, there are many cogs in the wheel when it comes to the things that we have to do, we have to accomplish in terms of a process. But the way we get paid as wholesalers is to deliver awesome deals to our cash buyers. And when we deliver that awesome deal to our cash buyers, it's then and it's only then when we get paid. And we get paid really, really well for it, folks. And so that's the reason why I want you to focus on building the buyers list. I'm going to spend tonight talking about that. Now, when I get done talking about building the buyers list, I'm going to open up the floor to questions and answers. And on your dashboard there, on your GoToWebinar dashboard, there's a little section, and you just click on it, and it has the same effect as raising your hand. You can also type your questions in, and Christopher is going to monitor the questions that you type in, and then I'm going to use Christopher to actually, call the questions, and then he'll feed the questions to me so that we have a nice organized and systemized way to handle our call tonight. So let's dive right in to building the buyers list. And I want to start off by saying this. Lots of folks, when I go to the Real Estate Investor Association meetings, will come up to me and they'll go, Pete, where do you want deals? Pete, where should I focus on my marketing? Pete, I don't know, I've got a limited marketing budget, and I'm afraid, and I don't know how to invest my time and my money in marketing so that it's effective for me. Where should I focus? What neighborhood should I focus in? And folks, here's what I want to share with you. The most important place for you to market for your deals is where your cash buyers want deals. All right, now let me say it again. The most important place for you to focus your marketing activity is where your cash buyers want deals. Remember, we get paid as wholesalers when we deliver an awesome deal to a cash buyer. And so the place we want to focus our attention, where we want to focus our marketing, where we want to focus our money and our time, is in the areas and the neighborhoods where our cash buyers want their deals. All right, so let's get started on building the buyers list. And I've got a lot of things that I'm going to finish by saying on this. And so first, to build your buyers list, I want you to know what is a buyer. And the buyers that we're looking for are buyers that are cash buyers, but more importantly, buyers that are ready, able, and willing to buy our deals. Now, I've given you a list, you can see it on the screen there, of 14 different ways that you can build and find your cash buyers. So let's start with networking. And what I want to convey this to begin with is I want you to own your real estate business, and I want you to be proud of it. And I want you to think in terms of telling everybody that you come in contact with who you are and what you do. Now, when I meet people in all the space, and by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm a professional airline pilot. I fly big jet planes across the ocean into South America and the Middle East, and I'm a trainer in that space. But when I'm at a party or I'm at a social event and people ask me what I do, I don't talk about flying the jet planes. I talk about things that promote my real estate business. And so what I'll say is, look, I buy and sell houses like kids trade baseball cards. And so what I'm doing is I'm planting seeds everywhere I go. Every time I open my mouth, I'm planting seeds that will pay dividends and will yield to my real estate business. And so I let everybody in the world know what it is I do. And what is it I do? Write this down, because you can borrow this. You can use it yourself. I buy and sell homes like kids trade baseball cards. And look, it sticks, but it gives everybody the sense that, okay, Pete buys and sells houses. He's a middle guy. He's always looking for, to buy houses and to sell houses. And I want people to remember, Pete Gauthier, when they need a deal, they call me. Pete Gauthier, when they have a deal or they know of somebody that has a house they've got to sell, I want them to think of me. And so, number one, start with that. That's networking. And tell everybody it is in every opportunity what it is that you do. All right, number two, business cards. There's a lot of business cards you see out there for real estate investors, and they're the big flashy ones that are coming orange or green, or you've seen them probably in the $100 bill. And, basically they say, we buy homes, any area, any location, and stuff like that. Well, that's not the kind of business card we're talking about. The kind of business card we're talking about that you would hand out to potential cash buyers would be your name, your company name if you want, but most importantly, your phone number and your email address. You don't need an address. You don't need a fancy name. So please don't spend any time trying to dream up, Wholesaling Central as your company name. It just doesn't matter. All that matters is that they've got a way to contact you and that they know why they should contact you. So what that means is across the top of your card, you should have a slogan or something that says, we buy and sell houses wholesale. Now, look, I want to tell you a story about this. I attend a lot of real estate events. I go to a lot of real estate investor association meetings all over the country. And again, as you know already, I'm a national speaker on the subject of wholesaling and flipping homes. And so everybody wants to give me their card. And so, everyone's giving me their card. And at the end of the day, I get home, with either that night or the next day, and I'm going through the business cards that I've gotten that day. And I look at this one, I go, why have I got this one? And I toss it, and I go, and I read the next one. Why have I got this one? And I toss it. What I want you guys to do to draw a distinction between you and everybody else who is your competitor is I want your card to say right on it why they should keep your card and why it's important to do so. And it goes right across the top. We buy and sell houses wholesale. You see what this is doing is it's setting you apart from all your competitors in the real estate investing space as the professional who really knows what he or she is talking about. Okay? You can get these cards made up. I've got templates that are made up for you, and I don't make a penny on this. I spoke to the gal that owns the company. It's called planetpromo.com, and I said to her, look, just whatever concession or whatever commission you would give me, I don't want it. Just let my folks that are students of mine, that are associates of mine, just give them the best possible price. So if you go to planetpromo.com, you'll have the ability to buy my pre-formatted business cards for wholesalers there. And again, I don't make a penny off of it and don't want to make a penny off of it, but I put that there as a tool and a resource for you guys. And so it's the type of business card that I would recommend that you use as a wholesaler. All right, number three is RIA clubs. And the RIAs are the Real Estate Investor Association clubs. And these are clubs that they're in every city all throughout the country. If you don't know where yours is, go to nationalria.com and you can look it up on the Flipping Homes website. I've got an area where real estate clubs are listed. I'm embarrassed to tell you I don't keep it up, but National RIA, if you just Google National RIA, you can search for real estate clubs in every city in the country. And so the RIA clubs are a great place to find cash buyers. And so when you go into the RIA club, you may or may not know anybody there, but the one or two people who do know everybody there is the club president or whoever the leadership is. Usually they're at the table welcoming you in when you enter into the club event. But find out when they're meeting, go to the club events, join the club if you will, and then go and attend the meetings. And when you go, ask the president or the officers or the volunteers that are there, pull them aside and say, hey, I'm a new wholesaler in town. Would you mind, could you point out one or two of the big wholesale players that are in the room tonight? And when they do, then say thank you very much, and then go and approach them. Now, let me stop here. I want to thank you guys all for joining me tonight on the call. as a thank you, and I'll do this from time to time, when you come onto the call with me and you invest your time with me, I'm going to reward you for it. This is one of those times I'm going to reward you right now for spending time with me on the call. I put together a questionnaire for building your wholesale buyers list. I've just made it available to you here on your dashboard, and you can download it right now. So go ahead and click on the link, download that. You have my permission to photocopy it, keep a stack of them with you all the time, and use that, that checklist, if you will, to qualify your cash buyers and be able to tell who your most important cash buyers are. But more importantly, it'll give you tremendous insight into where your buyers want their deals, and then to qualify the buyers that are ready, able, and willing to buy your deals. So that's my gift to all of you tonight for being on the call. It's available to you right now. Just hit the download button, and you can have my cash buyers list questionnaire. All right, so anyway, that's being the case. So now we go into the RIA Club meeting. And Darren, by the way, I see, Darren, that you've got a question up. Don't worry, we're going to get to your question in just a moment. When you go into the RIA Club and you ask the president there or one of the officers, hey, could you mind putting out one or two of the big cash buyers or big rehabbers that are in the room tonight? And they will. They'll point one or two people out to you, and then go up and introduce yourself. The conversation sounds like this. Hi, Mr. Smith. My name is Peter Gauthier. I'm a new wholesaler in town. I had a question. Mr. Jones, who runs the RIA here, said that he directed me over to you and said that you were a big rehabber in the area. And I was wondering, if I had just the right deal at just the right price at just the right location and neighborhood, is that something we should talk about? And I guarantee you, 99 out of 100 times they're going to go yes, because it's refreshing to them that a wholesaler wants to come and actually have a conversation. Now, what I want you to do is this. That questionnaire that I just gave you, go ahead and photocopy it. You know, make 20 copies or something like that. But when you go to a meeting, put them on a clipboard. And then when you introduce yourself to a new potential cash buyer, pull up the clipboard and start taking notes on it. And you're going to want to find out their name, their best email address, the best phone number for them to use, and then go through the questionnaire. And the questionnaire is going to be, let's say his name is Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, can you tell me what neighborhoods are you most interested in? And he's going to tell you the neighborhoods by name, or he's going to tell you the zip codes. And so the important thing for you is, I want you to think about it this way. I want you to have a relationship with your cash buyers so you know what kind of deals they want, where they want them, and how much they're willing to pay for them. In other words, what are the price points for the areas that they're interested in getting houses in. This is tremendous intelligence for you guys, and it's tremendous insight into what your cash buyers want. Now, let me step back for a moment. The key to this, and I want you to write this down, find out what your cash buyers want, find out where they want it, find out what price point they want them at, and then market in that area to fill their order. So it's just like you're a short order cook. You take the order and you fill the order. You take the order, you fill the order. And so you do this process with your cash buyers, and what you're going to do is you're going to find out where they want their deals, so you know where to focus your time, your attention, and your monetary resources, so that you can get the deals to feed to them and then get well paid for it. Okay? So take this buyer's list that I gave you, put it on the clipboard, and you're going to ask them again their name, their best phone number, and you want their cell phone, their best email address so that it comes right to them or to their phone and not, get stuck off in a spam basket somewhere. And then what you're going to want to do then is go through the questionnaire. So the first question is, Mr. Jones, tell me, where are you most interested in having your deals? What neighborhoods get you excited? And then write down the neighborhoods, write down the zip codes and stuff. Ask them what type of property that they're most interested in. Do they want single-family detached? Are condos okay? Are they interested in townhouses, multi-unit? And so you're finding out what kind of houses they want. And then, Mr. Jones, let me ask you, in these neighborhoods, what are the best price points within those neighborhoods that you're looking for? What price point means is, what's the after repair value that they're looking for? okay? And what that does is it will give you insight into the quality of the neighborhood. Now, I'm going to just digress for a moment and just understand this. The lion's share of your rehab buyers, that is your cash buyers, are interested in neighborhoods that represent where working class homeowners want to live. Working class homeowners, not rental neighborhoods, not war zones. On the other side, not the real fancy neighborhoods. This is the bread and butter areas where the lion's share of the financing for the new homes that are sold in those areas are FHA. Okay, so the price point is going to be slightly below the median, and it's going to be the blue-collar, working-class neighborhoods. Now, that's where that's a sweet spot. That's where the lion's share of your rehabbers are going to be focused. All right, but that being the case, don't just sit on that. Actually ask them specifically what neighborhoods they're interested in. All right, now, the next thing you need to do when taking their order is find out what their capability is as a rehabber. So it goes like this. Mr. Jones, let me ask you, what level of rehab are you comfortable with? Is it just kitchen, bath, carpet, and paint? Are you comfortable? Are you okay doing some mechanicals, like a HVA system, rerunning the plumbing, rerunning the electric, putting a new roof on? Are you okay doing a fire damaged shell? So understand the level of rehab that your customer is interested and capable of. The last thing in the world you'd want to try and do is mismatch somebody where you're trying to have a property that's a fire damaged shell and place it with somebody who only does kitchen, bath, carpet, and paint or is pretty new in the business, you see? So you want to understand what level of experience they have, what level of rehab they're comfortable with. All right, so with those simple questions, you know where to focus your marketing. Now, the next part of the questionnaire, and what you'll find by looking at the sheet that I gave you, is we're now going to qualify these cash buyers to see if they're for real or not. Now, understand this. Write this down. As wholesalers, we're looking for the whales. Okay, now put an exclamation point and underline it. We're looking for the whales. Now, underneath that, write this. A whale is somebody who uses cash or private money to buy their deals and can buy 2 or more per month. Now, write that down. We're looking for whales. Whales are somebody who can buy their deals using cash or private money, and they can take down 2 or more deals per month. Now look, if you have just a handful of whale buyers on your list, they can keep you totally busy just serving them, and you'll make a fantastic income and live the life of your dreams just by servicing a few whales, as long as you can find them, cultivate the relationship, and then feed them on a regular basis the type of deals that they want. All right, and they will thank you for it. They will love you for it, and so it's important. And in this program, the system that I'm sharing with you, and it's a system that I wrote, the Wholesaling for More Cash system, find the whale buyers and then feed them, and feed them regularly, feed them often. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to qualify them and see whether or not they're a whale. And so it goes like this. Mr. Jones, okay, I understand the neighborhoods you're interested in. I understand the level of rehab you're comfortable with. I understand the price points within those neighborhoods of the type of house that you want, and I understand the level of renovation you're comfortable with. Now, Mr. Jones, let me ask you a question. How do you fund your deals? You see, you're asking them straight up. How do you fund your deals? And what you're looking to hear back from them is cash or private lenders, okay? Hard money lenders are okay, but that's telling you that they're pretty new in the business if they're still relying on hard money lenders, okay? So they're probably not going to be your whale buyers. They're probably going to be, mom and pa who you can feed an occasional deal to. All right, and so the answer you're looking for is I'm a cash buyer or I use private lenders. These are the whales that use either their own cash or private lenders. All right, now you want to test that. So, Mr. Jones, let me ask you. I understand that you're a cash buyer, and I understand that you're a cash buyer. You use private money. That's great. Now, typically, we will close in 2 weeks and require a large cash deposit. You're okay with that, aren't you? Now, look, let me step out of role here for a second. And by the way, Derek, and I see that you don't see the download link. I'm going to make sure that you do find it so it's available to you. So don't worry. Everyone on the call tonight is going to get that buyer's questionnaire. So I don't want you to worry about that. I will make sure you get it. But look, I want to come back and just explain this. Now we're needing to satisfy ourselves whether or not they're whales and if they're for real or not. All right, so the way to do that is put out there on the table. We expect that when we bring you a good deal that you're going to be able to close in 2 weeks. Your whale buyers are going to go, oh yeah, we could close in a few days. But if someone hems and haws and goes, well, we're going to need 30 days to close on our deals, all right, red flag. Be careful, because they are not a whale if they need 30 days to close on a property. Cash buyers and private lenders only need a matter of usually days. Whenever the title work is clear, then they're good to close. So that's why that question is so important. And also this, to write this down as well. Always, 100% of the time, require a large, non-refundable deposit. If you don't, your deal just isn't going to close. I've learned that lesson the hard way. Steve taught me that. Steve Cook taught me that. I didn't believe it. I was wrong. I lost many deals because I didn't require a large cash deposit up front. And large cash deposit, what does that mean? I mean, typically 10%, but it's like, minimum it's like $2,000, between $2,000 and $5,000 as a deposit to hold a great deal. If you only require $100 or $500 from your rehab investors to hold the deal, you're making a huge mistake, guys and gals. So require a large cash deposit so that they have skin in the game if they want to tie up your property. All right. So large deposit, we close in 2 weeks. All right. So the next question I want to ask them is this. Mr. Jones, if I had just the right deal, just the right location, at just the right price, how many of them could you take down per month? Okay, so this is putting them on the spot now, and it's putting them on the spot as to, okay, if it's just the right deal, how many could they take down? So in other words, we're trying to get insight into how big is their pot of cash, if it's their own cash, or what is the depth of their private lending network. And so what I wanted here is at least 2 deals, but anywhere between 2 plus, 2, 3, 4, 5 per month, that's music to my ears. Folks, that can be a full-time job just feeding that 1 or 2 whale buyers that want multiples like that per month. And if you're making $5,000 or $10,000 per wholesale deal, which is common, it'll create the ability for you to be debt-free in no time and live the lifestyle of your dreams. And folks, that's my message for you tonight, but just go about it the right way. All right? Only deal with folks that are ready, able, and willing to buy your deals. All right, so let's get back into roll. So now we have a buyer who says, well, I'd like, if it was just the right deal, just the right price, I could handle maybe 2 or 3 per month. Folks, that's music to my ears. That's what I want. And so, I'm writing notes on that buyer questionnaire furiously so that I can get all that information down. Now, listen to this. Some of you, I understand, are a little bit challenged on cash. Some of you are a little bit short on cash, and you're worried, how do I make an offer, Pete? I haven't got enough cash to put down deposits all over the place. Look, folks, don't worry. Here's why. Listen to this. It's the next question on the buyer's questionnaire. Folks, listen to this. Mr. Jones, I'm able to get larger cash discounts if I can make cash offers. If you could see your way clear to provide me a copy of one of your bank statements, and I don't mind if you X out the bank account, the bank account number, that doesn't make any difference. But if you could see your way clear to let me have a copy of one of your bank statements to attach when I'm making cash offers, I'll give you the first look at the deals that come through. Folks, I'm telling you, your cash buyers 100% of the time are going to be happy to do that for you. It puts into effect the law of reciprocity as well. And so you do that, they do you a good deal. You've got, a bank statement that you can now attach with your cash offers, and then you're giving them the first look at the deals. Folks, there isn't any cash buyer that wouldn't love that deal to have the first crack at a smoking hot deal. And so you're uniquely positioned, to make that offer, but at the same time, uniquely positioned to use their bank account to put with your cash offers. And so, folks, that's a great way to make cash offers when your bank account hasn't caught up to your activity yet. All right. So anyway, so keep that in mind. So now, if you're so what that does is it puts you in a position not only to be able to make cash offers, but think about this. Now you've seen their bank statement, and you know they've got an account balance with a bunch of zeros on it. So now you know that they're for real. All right, folks, so this is how you qualify your cash buyers. You find out where they want their deals, what level of rehab they are comfortable with, what the price points are, and then you find out how they close, cash or hard money or private lenders, and then you ask the further questions. You explore, you go deeper. Okay, guys, how many deals could you take down per month if it was just the right deal, just the right price? If it was a smoking hot deal, how many could you take down per month? And then, require the 2-week close. Always put that on the table. And then, with a non-refundable deposit. And by the way, make sure they know it's okay. You're not going to require them to give you a non-refundable deposit until after they've looked at the property, right? So you give them a shot to look at the property. When they come back and they raise their hand, they say, yes, I want it. Okay, then they got to put the money down. It's non-refundable once they say, yes, they want it. Okay? And then the last point that I mentioned on there, get a copy of their bank statement and then use that when you're making your cash offers to make your offers more attractive, and you'll get to yes many, many, many more times. More importantly, when you know these buyers and you know them eyeball to eyeball and you've qualified them, you're going to close a lot more wholesale deals and you're going to make a lot more wholesale profits when you embrace this approach, which is the system I designed, wholesaling for quick cash around. All right, now I've got some questions here. I've taken about 35 minutes to give you this presentation on building your cash buyers list. If you take a look over on your dashboard, you're going to see a little section called handouts. And if you just click on the link in handouts, you're going to see it's going to be a PDF symbol, and it says wholesale buyer questionnaire.pdf. And all you've got to do is just double click on that, and you'll be able to download it right to your own desktop PC so that you've got it. Okay, Derek, take a look there now. That's Derek Gilmore. Take a look there now. Make sure you can find it. Make sure you can download it. If not, then just shoot me another question here on the dashboard. We'll make sure you get it. All right, Christopher, are you back with me?
Yes, sir. I am here. Can you hear me, Peter?
Okay. What questions have we got? Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Tell me, what questions do we have from our audience tonight, and we'll get right into the meat of it.
Okay, outstanding. So we got a question here from Darren. He's got a question. He says that his problem is struggling to market on a shoestring budget. How can he get consistent leads, with no money or next to no money?
Okay, great question, Darren. And look, there's two ways to think about this on marketing. There are plenty of things you can do in marketing that don't cost a lot of money. But what they do require is time on your part. And so I want you to think about this. On the one hand, we have shotgun marketing. Shotgun marketing is you have to pan for gold. You're gonna talk to a lot of sellers that aren't motivated. You're going to need to do things where you're talking to a lot of people who may or may not be motivated. We call that shotgun marketing, and you can do that on a shoestring budget. Over here, if you have some money to work with, and after you get your first wholesale deal done, you're going to be sitting on $5,000 or $10,000 in cash, Darren, and put some of that money aside for just marketing. And when you can spend some money on marketing, then you can do the targeted direct mail and some of the other things that I teach in the system that we talk about that'll really jump up your efficiency in terms of finding quality deals. But let's go right to the heart of your question, which is if you're operating on a shoestring budget, here's some things. If you have no cash at all, and I need none, absolutely none, then what you can do is you can do things like go to the newspaper and you can look at houses for rent and call them up. Go on Craigslist, houses for rent, call them up, and just ask them, hey, would you ever consider selling your house? and then use my wholesale buyer, or I've got another questionnaire that I'll share on another call with you. But what you can do then is qualify them to see if the houses they have, if they're motivated to sell. And number two is you can see if there's a big potential check in it for you. So let's recap for a moment. If you're operating on a shoestring budget, what that means is it's going to require more of your time and effort, okay? And so one thing you can do is call up the ads that are on Craigslist and in the newspaper houses for rent. Now, another thing you can do, and if you have a little bit of money, this will work for you really well, is you can buy bandit signs. And the bandit signs are pretty reasonably priced. I think they run around $1.50 to $2 a piece. And try and get 100 of them. That'll cost you $200, $220 maybe by the time you get it shipped to you. And get those bandit signs out. Now, my son, when he was 18 years old, he didn't have two nickels drugged together. But he and his buddy would run all over town putting up bandit signs. And they were funny. They would put up their own bandit signs, and then they would beg, borrow, and steal other people's bandit signs that weren't using the signs, and then they'd put their own phone number, a piece of tape across it with their own phone number on it. And I'll tell you what, they were getting about 30 leads a week just from leveraging their own bandit signs and then other people's bandit signs. So that's a second thing that you can do. A third thing you can do, and this is going to require some time and some technical expertise on your part, but get a hold of a website. And I, typically when you hear me speak, nationally where I'm speaking from stage and talking to an audience, a lot of times the folks that'll come to me, I'll give them a website for free. And so if you can get a hold of a website that has a seller questionnaire on it, okay, and you can get one reasonably, and if you pay attention to the calls hit flipping homes from time to time, I may just offer that just like I did with the wholesale buyer questionnaire. So, keep your eyes tuned for that. But what you can do is you can drive eyeballs to that website without spending a lot of money, without spending any money. Here's how you do it. Take your Droid phone or take your iPhone, whatever, and then shoot a video every 3 days and talk about how you buy and sell properties in a given area, given neighborhood, and post it up on YouTube. And then every video you shoot, reference it back to your website address. Now, over the course of a week or two, Google's going to notice that there's a lot of activity within a certain, and I mean certain specific geographic market, that is neighborhoods, that you're shooting a quick video in. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It's a little selfie. And it's like, hey, everybody, we buy homes cash, and we buy homes any location, but here's the areas we're buying today, and then just list out, specifically just one neighborhood. We're buying neighborhoods in Culver City today, and a little bit about, we buy houses from folks that are behind on payments. We buy houses from folks that are divorced. We buy houses from people that, no longer live in the house. Just go through the list of things in the video about the types of houses you buy, and then post it. But make a video for every separate different location that's in the ant farm, if you will, that you're operating in, and then shoot it up and post it on YouTube. And what you're going to see is you're going to get some Google juice from that, and it's going to start driving traffic to your website. So that's another way to get traffic coming into your funnel, when you don't have a lot of cash to operate with. So anyway, Darren, I hope those things help you. And again, once you get the first wholesale deal under your belt, and you get $5,000 or $10,000 in your bank account, that's going to just open up the whole world to you in terms of, the type of marketing that you can do. I want to tell you a quick story before I leave this topic. And that is, there was a fellow who came over one summer from Ireland, and I got to meet him, but he came over because he had read Steve Cook's book on wholesaling, and he wanted to meet Steve and find out if this whole thing was for real or not. So he met with Steve. Steve let the guy, sleep on a couch in his office. The guy didn't even have a car. So you talk about, operating on a shoestring budget. But he got some bandit signs, and he would walk everywhere and take the bus and put his signs up and whatever. Well, lo and behold, in the course of the summer, he sold a couple wholesale deals and made a trip over to America to learn how to do wholesaling worth his while. So all I can tell you, Darren, is if Henry can do it, and he's a foreigner. He came here with no money and no car from Ireland, not knowing anybody. If he can do it, you can do it. All right. So we'll say good night and good luck to you on that one, Darren, and then we'll go on to our next caller.
Okay, Peter. Excellent. I got a question here from Courtney. She says that she's a wholesaler in Indianapolis, Indiana, and she'd like to know what she should do when she has a house under contract and her buyer presents a cash offer through a purchase agreement with a $500 earnest money deposit, and there's an inspection clause to back out within 2 weeks. Should she close in 30 days?
Wow, that's a great question, Courtney. And let me tell you what that tells me. What that tells me is that the buyer's not real. And what it likely is, it's a wholesaler that's trying to shop your deal. Think about that. You've done all the work to find the deal. Now another wholesaler is trying to swoop in and poach your deal from you. Put no money up, and if they can't find a cash buyer themselves, use the weasel clause to back out. That doesn't work. And that aggravates the daylights out of me, Courtney, because what it does is it disrespects you and your business and the amount of work that you put in finding that wholesale deal. So here's what I want to make very clear. Put it out on the table up front. When someone comes to you and wants to put one of your deals under contract and they want to give you just $500 and they want to put in a weasel clause, no deal. You tell them this. Tell them, it's our policy not to tie up our properties with contingent contract or contingent contract offers. So, Mr. Buyer, do this. Go take a look at the property. If you want it, then you'll need to put down a $2,000 deposit and close in 2 weeks. If you don't want it, that's fine, but one of our other wholesale buyers will certainly want it. Now, there's a second part to this, Courtney, and that's this. When you market for deals in neighborhoods where you don't specifically have your buyers list built first, that's how you get into this kind of situation where you're just trying to find anybody to buy your wholesale deal. So what I want to do is I want to change the way you think. I want to change your paradigm. Find your buyers, find them first. Find out the neighborhoods they want their deals in, and then blitzkrieg that neighborhood so that when you get one under contract, you can turn to a real buyer that you've already qualified and have a relationship with and go, hey, Mr. Jones, I got a hot one in that neighborhood that we talked about that you told me you wanted to deal in. And look, if they're a cash buyer and they're for real, they're going to give you they're going to go look at the house right away. They're going to give you the cash deposit. They're going to close in 2 weeks, Courtney. Those are the people you want to deal with, not somebody who's trying to poach one of your wholesale deals and take advantage of all the work that you put in advance. That's not fair. Anybody else got a question out there for me, Chris?
Yes, sir. Okay, so Steve is from Fresno, California. He's trying to do some direct mail, and he wants to know what would be the best list for him to get. Number one, what's the best list? Number two, from where? And also what type of mailer he should be using, a yellow letter, a postcard, a typed letter? Which you find most effective?
Great question. All right, there's two things I want you to think about, Steve, and that's this. The type of direct mail that I really like doing as a rehabber is I'm sending direct mail to folks that have a high probability of having a house that they don't want anymore. And so who has a house that they don't want anymore? What does it look like? Well, it's somebody that has a house, they've owned it for at least 10 years, and they don't live there anymore. So that tells me that there's a potential for equity. There's also a potential for deferred maintenance, which is what I'm looking for as a rehabber or a wholesaler to flip to a rehabber. And if they don't live there, trust me, it's a hassle. Now look, when somebody has a house that they inherit or they move and they can't sell it, they wind up being a reluctant amateur landlord. And so, what could be a decent house soon becomes, a junker, and they become a motivated seller. So anyway, that's one. Where do you get a list of folks like that? You can get that from reallist.com, REALIST.com. They're a subsidiary of First American CoreLogic, and they maintain huge databases of real estate across the entire country. You can call them, and when you do, you can be very specific, and you can give them the criteria for a list that they'll create for you. And so what I want you to do is don't get too creative on the list, because the more criteria you put in, the more they charge you for the list. So if you put in the neighborhoods that you're interested in, single-family detached, owned the house at least 10 years, no longer live there, that's it, nothing extra. And then have them generate a list like that. And for a list of 1,000 names, it'll cost you about $250. So figure 25 cents a name. That's a pretty reasonable price. And then 1,000 names, that will give you plenty of opportunity, and you should get some deals for sure out of that. Okay, so that's the first one. In terms of how to do those mailers, I don't have enough time on this call to go into it, but I've got a very, very specific methodology for how to do direct mail so they get opened. And my response rate that I get from people calling me from my direct mail is between 10 and 14%. I'll cover that with you on another call, and we'll have fun with that. Now, the second type of list is the probates. And probates are let me think how to say this. They're a little more complicated because you've got to do some work. You've got to go down to the courthouse. Excuse me. You've got to go through the public record to find out who the executor is for the estates, and then get those names and then send the letters out. That takes some time and effort on your part to do that. What that means is there's not a lot of people competing with you to do that. And so if you go down there with a paralegal and have a paralegal teach you how to do that, once or twice, so you can do it on your own, that will really help you. Excuse me. All right. So get a paralegal to come down and show you how to find the probates. Then what you do is you get the names of the probates, and you want to do this maybe once a week, get the names. Some weeks you'll have more, some weeks you'll have less. And then put a professional letter together. In the professional letter, it says, dear Mrs. Smith, I want to begin by saying how sorry I am for the loss, to you and your family. But I want to introduce myself as Peter Gauthier from City Home Buyers, and we buy and sell homes in your area. And so, if we can be of any service in buying or selling any real estate, we would be more than happy to do it. And by the way, we close quickly. There's no real estate commission, and we're cash buyers ourselves, so you don't have to worry about the uncertainties of any repairs or lender contingencies. Something along that line. And so you send them that letter introducing yourself. And again, it's not a hard sell, it's a soft sell, but you're just being present in front of them. You have to put together a tickler system. What that means is a reminder system so that you send repeat letters out about once a week. In the beginning, once every 2 weeks, but the point is over a 6-week period, you want to have 7 touches. So 7 times you have to send them a letter, and they'll respond usually from one of those 7 touches. Okay, but someone going through a period of grief and uncertainty, let the dust settle, and then they have to face the reality of the of the probate and getting the properties disposed of. The lawyer involved is going to be interested in having the house sold for cash so that he or she can get paid. So anyway, it's a little more complicated, but that's a great list. There's not a lot of competition in mailing to probate, Steve, so I hope that helps you. Okay, next question, Chris.
Yes, sir. Okay, Peter, so we've got another question was from Darren, and he wants to know, what do you think are the best ways to work with other wholesalers, and how do you recommend working together with other wholesalers on deals?
Great question, Darren. Really, really great question. And I work with a lot of other wholesalers, and so I want to share with you a couple things. Number one is if you can't find deals, I'll put it this way. Let me tell you a story. When I'm driving around neighborhoods looking at properties, and I come to a stop sign or a traffic light, and I see, we buy houses signs on a telephone pole, I'll stop and I'll call them up, and I'll say, hey, I'm Peter Gauthier, and I'm a wholesaler. I understand. I saw your sign over here at 22nd and M Street, and I understand you buy and sell houses. Hey, do you have any deals, or do you have any potential leads that you're not going to do anything with? And I said, and I'll tell them this. I'll say, because, if you'll shoot those leads over to me and I can make anything happen with them, then there's going to be some money in it for you. So, yes, I'll call up other We Buy Houses signs to see if they have any deals. What happens is a lot of folks will get all excited to put up the We Buy Houses signs, and then they'll get all excited, but they're afraid when the phone rings because they don't know what to say or they don't know how to say it, and they don't want to look foolish, and so they don't call people back. And so that's a great way to leverage the marketing that someone else has done, is just ask them, hey, if you've got any leads that are dead, and don't embarrass them by saying, hey, is there anybody you didn't call back? Don't frame it that way. Just say, hey, do you have any dead leads that you're not going to do anything with? Because I've got a new system or a crazy system that's been working really well, and if I can generate some cash and maybe some money in it for you, if any of the leads prove profitable. And then somebody who's let these leads die and spent a bunch of money in marketing, that's going to be music to their ears. So that's one. Now, so let me tell you something that's a secret sauce. All this information I give you about building your buyers list, once you have a buyers list of cash buyers, you now control not only the ability for you to get paid, you now control the ability for other wholesalers to get paid that haven't built a buyers list like yours. Now, in the DC market, I've got a cash buyers list of some 600 people on it. And so wholesalers will bring me deals, and I'll place them with my wholesale buyers. And even though I didn't do any of the work in finding the deals, I still get paid because we split the deal 50-50. They bring the deal, I bring the buyer, we split the deal 50-50. So when you have a real cash buyers list that's qualified, that's worth gold to you, and you can leverage the power of that cash buyers list with other wholesalers that haven't taken the time and effort to do it. Now, there's one last point, and this is how to work with other wholesalers. When you're working with the other wholesalers, many of them are going to say to you if they have a deal, well, I need this amount for the deal. Whatever you sell it to your customer for, to your cash buyer above that, I'm okay with that. Negative. Never, never, never do that. Okay, number one, your cash buyers are going to be on more lists than just yours. So they're going to see that deal from Andy and from Steve and from Judy as well as if you put it out. So your cash buyers have to see the same price from you as they do from anybody else. So never, ever, ever mark up somebody else's deal and then offer it to one of your cash buyers. If you do that, you'll ruin the relationship with your cash buyer, and that can cost you millions of dollars over the course of a lifetime of wholesaling. So never, ever do that. And so when working with other wholesalers, it's always this. We split the deal 50-50. Whatever you got it for, whatever we can sell it for, whatever that profit is, we split it 50-50. And if you're not okay with that, then that's just our company policy, and this isn't going to work. Okay, so that's the only way, the one and the only way to deal with other wholesalers is whatever the profit in the deal is, you split it 50-50, and never, ever, ever mark up somebody else's deal to sell to your cash buyers. Remember this, your cash buyers list is the asset. It's the asset that lets other wholesalers be paid, and it's the key to them getting paid. So make sure that you only do deals 50-50 so that you can control the deal and so that you're not offering a potential deal to one of your buyers at a higher price than they've seen it already marketed for. That would be disaster for you. All right, I hope that helps you, Darren, and great question. Okay, we've got about 4 minutes left on our on our call, Chris. So if we've got one or two more questions, let's go ahead and hit them. Before we do, I want to make sure if anybody has not been able to download their wholesale buyer questionnaire, please do so now. And you'll find it under the handout section of your dashboard, your webinar dashboard that's in front of you. So far, only 5 folks have downloaded their handout, so I want to make sure that nobody misses out on that. And so please click on that link now. So open up the little handout section and then click on the link to download it. If you can't get it for some reason, shoot a question to Chris right now so we can find out who didn't get it to make sure that, that everybody gets what they were promised on this call tonight. All right, Chris, who else has got a question for me?
Well, that's it, Peter. There's if anybody else you got a question, go ahead, please type it into the chat box. But right now, they've all been answered.
All right, terrific. What a great call tonight. I'll tell you what, I knew that sharing this idea and this idea of building the buyers list first and how to build and qualify the list, putting together this wholesale buyer questionnaire, this is the type of stuff that I learned the hard way. And so I put it into the wholesaling, the more wholesaling for quick cash system, so that you wouldn't have to make the same mistakes that I made. And so the whole progress, the whole system for how to find the deals, how to find your buyers, how to qualify them, and really how to create a profitable, a really profitable wholesaling business for yourself. I basically put together the business in a box for you so that you can do it yourself. Just follow exactly the same steps that I did, except avoid all the mistakes that I made. And so it's available to you on Flipping Homes through the more wholesaling for quick cash. And again, it's value priced. I take advantage of that for those of you that are new that really want to take advantage of the system that I created for wholesalers that is the real mind twist and will put real cash into your pocket. All right, anybody got a question up yet, Chris?
No, it's we're still empty right now. So it looks like everybody's questions have either been answered or maybe they're typing them in right now. But there's no other questions right now, Peter.
Well, terrific. Well, then I'm going to bring the call to a close tonight. I want to thank all you guys for participating and being part of the Flipping Homes family. I want to thank Chris especially for fielding the questions tonight and for being such a big help. By the way, I'm continuing to video the flip tips, so keep your eyes out for the flip tip messages. Those are my short 2- and 3-minute vignettes that I shoot to you as I think of pertinent things that I think will be helpful to you. And I think of them from all over the world, and when I do, I just take the flip phone and shoot a quick video. But I want to thank you guys for being part of our Flipping Homes family. It means a lot to me, and I take the responsibility very serious that you're investing your time and your energy in me, and I'm going to deliver. I promise you, I'm going to deliver tremendous value back to you, and that is through the power of what I've learned, but most importantly, not from me, it's the power of God. And so everything you learn from me is going to be with that frame, which is this is the plan that God put together for you. And so look, with that tonight, God bless all of you. Thank you for being with me on the call. Again, I cherish and appreciate each and every one of you. And thanks. I look forward to seeing you next month on our live call at Flipping Homes. All right. Thank you all for being on the call. Chris, thank you again for being such a big help that you are. All right. And good night, everybody. It's been a great call tonight.
You're welcome, Peter. Good night. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everybody.